Harmony.
Good afternoon, and welcome back to The Siege, or good morning, good evening. How are you all doing, folks? And welcome back. I hope you had a fantastic weekend and a fantastic time. I had. I can tell you that. It was great. Last few days have been phew. Have been something. Lots to do. Let's switch to live here. Boop. Hi. How are you doing, folks? Yeah, last few days have been ugh. It has been stressful. Let me tell you that. It has been absolutely stressful. So many things going on right now. Like the problem is Powerwood is still pretty big, and I'm still enjoying it, and I'm still working on the next video, so that's coming. Then we have Nightingale, which, well, we talk about in length after we are done with our normal stuff, right? So I was at a preview event last week where I could play the game for full 3 days. There were no limitations. There was just, here, you have access to the game for 3 days, do whatever you like, and record it. And that's what I did. So here we are. If you want to get my first thoughts, please check out my newest video I posted here on the Mole RP channel, where you can get all those infos. Then also some Helldivers, still playing some Enshrouded with some buddies of mine, even though we are finishing up, and I'm feeling a bit like we are dragging it out, but hey, that's just me. And Then, of course, we have next week the release of Nightingale in early access, which is on the 20th. On the 21st, oh my god, we have Last Epoch, which is also a big part of this channel. Again, Palworld is still part of this channel. And I still have my Mole Under Management channel. I've been playing quite a bit of Millennia, preparing a video for that on Thursday. And then I also want to start soon Banishers on my ChaosMole Plays channel. And if you're like, holy shit, that's a lot. Yeah, tell me. tell me. And I think I have a girlfriend who also needs some attention sometimes. It's like, what? Private life? What is that? No, she was here on Friday to Saturday. Right, she came Friday late evening and stayed till Saturday evening because she had to work on Sunday. And yeah, there was also like time with her, which I didn't do anything with her around. Right, because we see each other so rarely because of like she is working and studying at the same time. And oh boy, let me tell you, that's a full-time job in itself. Plus, she has like 2 days of like, what is it, 4 hours or so of language school, where they're basically just hammering the language into her. I'm glad with the work I do. It's a thing. So, what are we doing today? Well, today is pretty simple. We have our normal day, right? So that means we're doing Mole in the Morning in Gaming News, which you're watching right now. And then afterwards, we are jumping into the whole Nightingale preview event, thoughts, gameplay video stuff. And we would just talk about Nightingale. And of course, if you have any questions regarding Nightingale or the gameplay you are seeing and you're like, huh? Let me know. I will try to answer it as much as I can. Tomorrow, we might start Banishers on the ChaosMole Plays channel. On Thursday, I know this sounds a little bit weird, but we might have a different streaming time on Thursday. Why is that? Well, first, I need some extra time and I need that before like the evening. So that means that I will probably do some videos in the afternoon. And then I will start an evening stream because also on Thursday in the evening, which will be part of the news flash, but I want to mention it anyways right now. We have the Xbox podcast, as they call it. A little bit misleading for the gravity of the event coming up because this is on Thursday at 3 p.m. East Coast time. It's basically the big Xbox names coming together to talk about the future of Xbox, and they call it a podcast. Again, I'm not really sure if that is the right thingy, but it will be with Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty, which are basically all the three big in Xbox, and they will sit together with an Xbox podcast. Again, I don't think that podcast is the right terminology for what they are talking about. So yeah, we would definitely watch that. So we will probably do a stream before that. Maybe we are playing some Banishers or maybe some Helldivers, something. We will find something. But so yeah, we would have a stream in the evening, and in the afternoon I would finish up some of my YouTube videos because, again, I have a Last Epoch video I want to make, another Nightingale video, a Powered video, and then I finish up today the Millennia Thoughts video, which is coming up. And technically I would have to do something regarding Prison Architect, but my calendar just says, no thanks. Don't even think about it, you idiot. Hey, Chaos. And by the way, hey, Pale Moon. Sorry if I missed you there. Yeah, it's just so much. Like, the end of February is hell when it comes to releases, and they're all kind of important for all my different channels. So, man, that's not so much a fan of all of this. Which is why of the reason we might push back Pacific Drive a little bit till time getting out of the swamp of new releases is let me see, what do we have in March? Because we are now getting closer to the March releases. Actually, if I see this right, March seems to be pretty light on games which are important to me. Like, don't get me wrong, there are a few games I wanna check out, but till the end of March, not much is happening. And then we have Insanity again by the end of March. Absolute Insanity. Yeah. Huh. Okay. So we have a little bit of breathing room for the early Marches. That's good. That's good. I like me some breathing room because... Ooh. Oof. But yeah, what else did I do over the weekend? Not much. I played quite a bit of Enshrouded, hanged out with my girlfriend. And again, we are finishing up Enshrouded. And I played quite a bit of Millennia. I have now over 20 hours in the demo, which is kind of insane for a demo where you can only play 10% of the game or so. And I'm already hooked. Like, Millennia is definitely... Oh boy, that game is eating me up. But my thoughts video is coming up on Thursday. There are a few things I already pointed out in the video where I'm not like 100% on board with a few things they're doing. But yeah, you know, small fries. So yeah. Pacific Drive? Yeah. I didn't touch the demo. I didn't touch the demo specifically because I was already sold on the game, so I didn't really need to play the demo, right? And yeah, I didn't touch the demo for reasons. So, by the way, my new desktop background. I you feel like, whoa, what's that from? Well, that's from Nightingale. And we will certainly talk about that one. Yeah. So that game is freaking pretty, I can tell you that. It's a very pretty game. And it runs pretty well. I had some performance issues, but I blame that on my CPU, so yeah. What else? Let's have some gaming news. That we can actually talk about Nightingale, because that will be the major focus for today's stream. But before we do that, we are going through some of the gaming news we had over the weekend. And yeah, I already talked about the whole Xbox thingy happening, and that the whole event is happening on Thursday at 3 p.m. East Coast time. That is 9 p.m. my time. And we will watch that probably on the ChaosMole Plays channel, like, most definitely. And I will do a stream before that. But yeah, the whole Xbox event where they're talking about the future of Xbox, whatever that is supposed to mean. But here's the thing, I said it yesterday on the tweet, that it is kind of telling when they're making a big announcement, like, hey, here's the big Xbox event. And they're doing this without fanfare. Like, I think that is the biggest takeaway here. Like, this is the announcement of said event. Please join us for a special edition of the official Xbox podcast. I don't, they don't normally have a podcast, but okay. Hear from Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty as they share updates on the Xbox business. Like, for somebody who is working in this industry and has been working in this industry for over a decade now, has been doing some PR work, has been doing community management, and has been in the midst of selling you bullshit, right? This is the least fanfare announcement with the three big names of Xbox I have ever seen in my life. Like, keep in mind, this is not just three Xbox people coming together. This is Phil Spencer, the head of gaming at Microsoft, Sarah Bond, who is now the head of Xbox at Microsoft, and Matt Booty, who is the head of Booty. No, he is the head of publishing and stuff. Like, he basically decides most of the time which games are being produced and which are getting money and all that. Like, this is like the three big honchos, and they're announcing this in a very sober tone. If this would have been an event for celebration, or if this would be an event for, like, yeah, look at the future of Xbox, it would be glorious. Like, managed democracy. Well, no, that's Helldivers. Sorry, I'm hooked on that game. Like, they would have just framed this differently. Like, again, I cannot tell you from a marketing perspective how sober this tweet looks. This is the most curtsy tweet of, my lord and lady, if you would please go into this room where nothing bad will happen. Also, we are celebrating the red wedding over there. I hope you will enjoy it. It's like, yeah, yeah, you know what? Yeah. So, again, this is a pretty big event and a pretty sober announcement for said big event. So, that probably means nothing good will come of it. And I don't mean that in nothing exciting, but more like, uh-oh, this might not end well. I mean, we have already some leaks here and there where Phil Spencer already confirmed that they will continue to produce hardware, which is not the point here. I mean, Phil has been iterating over years now that Microsoft will always be there creating hardware because it makes them money, right? But the point is that they might announce that they are going completely third party and will bring all their games as many platforms as possible. This is a path. I'm not even surprised about it, right? Is there money in making the boxes? Well, we don't know if Xbox. I think the Xbox Series S is actually making money. I'm not sure. We know that the PlayStation is now making money because Sony has been working on that by screwing over the consumers with their price tags more than enough. So no, PlayStation 5 is making absolutely money. We know that. We do not know about Xbox, but nonetheless, I think the Xbox Series S was an eye opener to Microsoft. Because if you're looking at the Xbox Series S, that thing is, from a hardware perspective, from a performance perspective, a bit in between the Xbox One and the Xbox X, right? Like, it's not a great hardware, but it sells so much because of the price tag, and people can just play all the new games. Like I think it really showed Microsoft how much people just want to play video games. They don't really care if they have some beautiful ray traced sun in the background, or if they can see the pores on their character because it is played in 4K. Right? Like, I think most people just don't give a shit about that. And I think with the Series S and how much they're selling that shit in comparison to the Xbox Series X, I think this was a pretty good. Whoa, people are just happy to play games. Right? And I wouldn't be surprised if this is Xbox's plan of removing themselves completely now from the whole console war. Right? Like they are trying to pull a Nintendo basically. Nintendo has removed themselves from this whole hardware race and having the craziest like triple A ultra graphic games, right? They have removed themselves a long time ago from this whole rat race. And Microsoft always tried to do this for the last few years. They have been trying hard, but they never really could do it for various reasons. There are actually quite a bit of why they couldn't. And I think this might be now a hard cut for them. That they just say, nah man, let's try to pull Nintendo here, go third party as much as possible, and then try to come up with some crazy console. And if that console fails, because, well, nobody wants that, we are still safe because we are already third party. Right? It's a bit like Nintendo, as I said, Nintendo is in the position now where they can just try out new crazy hardware whenever they so desire. And but they know they have such a loyal fan base in itself and so many casual players who are just jumping on that they will still sell a lot of games and they would be good. Like, keep in mind, the Wii U time was the lowest point for Nintendo ever. They were bleeding money. They were doing so bad that the CEO of Nintendo was just like, yeah, I will not fire people here. I will take a cut of 50% to my income. Like, I get no. And here's the thing. Even with all the money, Nintendo did bleed. There was a calculation of if Nintendo would continue to bleed money like they did bleed in the Wii U times, it would still take them 150 years to go bankrupt. Right? Which is insane because you know that they will not lose money or continue to lose money for 150 years. They will find a new product which will make them a shit ton of money. Well, and then the Switch came around and now boom. So, but the point is, Nintendo is in a position where they can just do whatever they like and they know they will make bank. Because they have so much removed themselves from the whole rat race, which is the console war bullshit. Xbox wants to go there too. Xbox wants to have that too. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're basically announcing that on Thursday. That they're basically just conceding to PlayStation. Like, PlayStation, you would be number one, right? Like, have fun with being the AAA. You have to pay $100 to enjoy our games, basically console. And we are just doing our own thing with cloud, with Game Pass, and with the developers and the loyal community we have. And we will try maybe some crazy consoles now and then. That's my idea. I've been pretty much on point in the last few years when it comes to Xbox strategy, which, again, they're not really making too much of a secret out of it. That's the thing. Like, everyone's like, oh, oh my god, Xbox, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean what they are doing? They are doing exactly what they have been announcing for years now. Like, why are you so surprised by this? What's going on? So, yeah. But hey, that's me. Next, what do we have? Oh yeah, speaking about issues. Apparently, various former staff members of Ascendant Studios, aka the creators of Immortals of Avium, were talking about what that is and what's going on with the game. And apparently, they didn't make any money because the game that cost them 125 million US dollars. Keep in mind that The Witcher 3 back in the day did cost 80 million. Just to put that into perspective. And nobody beat it. Nobody did beat it? No, nobody did buy it. What am I saying? No one bought it. And it's like, yeah, don't get me wrong, but it looked Call of Duty with magic. It looked like the most I couldn't care less for this game than I've ever seen. Oh, you got movie stars in it, you got crazy voice actors, you got the best graphics, like the best animations. How about some gameplay? How about some really cool gameplay? But that's just me. It's like, look at Palworld. I know nobody will look at Palworld because studios are just inept. Most studios, not all, but most studios are just inept at looking at games which are really successful and understanding why they are successful. And Palworld is such a wonderful example. Is Palworld a huge open world with some empty spaces in it? Yeah, and I'm not a fan of that. Is the building in Palworld absolutely shit? Yeah, it's the worst I've ever seen in a survival game, and I'm not touching that. Is the AI of Palworld subpar and mostly in the way? Yeah, it is. Does the shooting feel absolutely Fortnite? Yep, it does. But shit, the game is still fun. Like, all the gameplay elements are there, they are fun, and after over 100 hours, I can still not get enough of Palworld. Like, too many developers like don't get that. I'm a little bit like, this is getting to another news segment. This is a little bit what I'm afraid of when it comes to Kojima games. Like, the more I've been playing Death Stranding, like I could never finish Death Stranding. I was halfway through it and I got so bored by it. I was like, oh yeah, look at all the movie stars we have here and all the serious tech and yada yada yada. Yeah, but your game is freaking boring. It has some moments of, oh, this is cool, right? But when 80% of your game is just walking around and it's not really fun and entertaining, then what am I supposed to do there? And that's such a big problem. I'm looking at some of the games coming out nowadays, and you just look at them and go, what gives? Helldivers 2 is a wonderful example of just a stupid fun game. I have already seen the comments coming from Deep Rock Galactic community and some other people going like, "Oh yeah, Deep Rock Galactic is such a better game. Oh, look at Stone Brother." And it's like, oh, piss off. nobody said something against Deep Rock Galactic at all. I wouldn't even draw a comparison because Deep Rock Galactic, you are literally farming ore and whatnot. Like, this is a completely different game. Yes, of course, there are hordes of enemies and hordes of bugs and stuff coming at you, or robots, but it's not really comparable. Why are we doing this? But the thing is, Helldivers 2 is a simple game. It is so simple that it is stupid fun. And you know what's one of the most funniest shit in this game is? It's friendly fire. Without friendly fire, this game would only be half as funny. Because even though this game is brutal, like you can die super fast, your allies can kill you every second, the game is still very forgiving. The game is still very forgiving in the ways of, oh yeah, you can just respawn. Sure, they cost you a life, and you should be careful with that, right? But nobody will like jump on you immediately and scream at you that you died in this game. It's just like, yeah, it's part of the process. Part of the process, not path. Part. Words. Again, hilarious game. Fun. And this is why it is so successful right now, and it is the most successful PlayStation game on PC ever. Well, till now. Who knows what's coming in a year or so, but you get my point. You get my point. I was like, yeah. Look, it is like, I'm sorry when studios are surprised that throwing money at a project is not leading to success. Like, you're surprised by that? Mother trucker. Have you heard of Minecraft at any given point in your life? Have you looked at Minecraft? Minecraft was literally developed by one dude in Java. Or Flash. Whatever. Same thing, same thing. And it's like, do you really believe that people care so much for mocap, AAA graphics, and all that? No, they want a fun game. I know it was Java. I said Java the first time. I'm just trying to be funny here. Man, my community is bullying me again. No, like, I mean, look at freaking Minecraft. Yeah, Vampire Survivors. Look at that. There's so many games I could throw at people and just say, look at those games and their insane not money thrown at the issue thing. And look how successful they are. Like, stop making the assumption the more budget you have, the more you can fix your game or make your game better. Yeah, no, I know that is. I just didn't know like the names. But look, I'm not a Minecraft player. I'm too old for that shit. Okay? I'm too old for that shit. Oh god. Speaking of which, I had to explain to my girlfriend who Dennis Glover is and where the whole thing of I'm too old for that shit is coming from. Sheesh. I'm feeling old. I'm feeling old. That's the problem. I'm just old. It's like. Different generation, what can you do? You are. You are. I'm a that's very nice of you, Gory. Thank you. That's uh that's very nice of you. That's very nice of you. We all are. Look, man, I'm now in the second half of my 30s. I have more gray hair than I wished already. And yeah, yeah. But yeah, there's a generational gap between me and my girlfriend. You have hair? Oh yeah. By the way, I'm not afraid of losing my hair when I'm getting old. I just have to look at my family line, and my family line is literally we have hair till the end of time. That's none of my concern. Absolutely none of my concern that I will ever lose hair. Like, yeah, yeah, no. I mean, look at that. I'm rocking a stupid ponytail right now. Like, that's how, that's where we're at. Jeans, man. Jeans. Speaking of which, let's go. Wait, speaking of jeans? Actually, yes, this is a perfect segue to the memes and jeans of Hideo Kojima. If you don't know, Mr. Kojima has a podcast or a YouTube cast, you know, where he is talking about, well, literally everything. If you wanna know what Hideo Kojima is thinking, then there you go. But this is rather interesting. He was saying that, well, why he was answering a question why he decided to create another stealth espionage game, which is called Fizzed. Keep in mind, this is just a code name. This is not necessarily the official name, even though, I mean, it is Kojima. I wouldn't be surprised if it will be the name of the game. And a lot of people were just like, why would you do this? And he said, in the last 8 years, every day on social media, from users all around the world, people have been asking me to create another Metal Gear and stuff like that. And he was basically ignoring it. And he was just like, well, look, man, I moved on from that. I'm now doing my own stuff. I'm doing new things. I'm just the thing, you know. And then he says, but then I fell ill in 2020. It was also during the pandemic, so I was sick and isolated during all of it. I even had surgery, and I thought I can't anymore. I was at my lowest, and I felt like I couldn't go back to making games. I wrote a will too, and in that moment, I realized that people die. But I turned 60 last year. I turned 70 in 10 years. I hope to never retire. Having said that, if the user desire it so much, I thought I should change my priorities a bit. I still want to do new things, but I decided to make an action espionage game again. And he also said that I get many requests from Hollywood to make films, but I've refused them because I have my own company now. I can't leave for 1 or 2 years to go make a movie. The company would collapse. I was in a tough spot. And I talked to Guillermo del Toro about it, and he said, Hideo, what you are making is already a movie. Keep going as you are. His words saved me, and since we'll be working with many creators in the business, though the output is a game, it won't be too different from movies. I'm like, yeah, no shit, Hideo. No shit. Like, look, I haven't seen the end sequence of Death Stranding, but I remember the 1.5 hour cutscene of Metal Gear Solid 4 at the end. Also, which was the cutscene, which I think I have never cried that much in my life, as much as I cried in that stupid cutscene. Yeah, my god. Mother trucker. I have never used up so many tissues for crying. Oh well. Um, but the point is, it's kind of crazy how Kojima is just like casually dropping the whole thing that he nearly died and he had a surgery and all that to save his life. And you're like, whoa, okay. That's a bit frightening. Then again, this man is really good in like shielding completely his private life, right? Like we know absolutely nothing about Kojima's private life. Like it took people decades to find out that this dude is married and has kids, right? And if people are like, wait, what? What? I say, yeah, yeah. He is very much shielding his private life, rightfully so. Rightfully so. I don't care about his private life, right? Like his private life is a private life, and I'm here for his work. So that's his thing. But yeah, kind of casually dropping that he nearly died. I was like, oh, I nearly died. How was your 2020? Huh? Okay. Last news for today, and then we are jumping into Nightingale. So this is a bit weird. As you might know or not know, it was announced on Friday that the last update for Dead Cells will be actually the last update. Like, that's it. It's called The End is Near, and that would be the 35th update for Dead Cells. And then they're done with it because now they are focusing on the next game, which is Blown Away. I always forget the word. It looks pretty cool. But what you have to know is that this was basically not an announcement from the main studio that they are basically leaving Dead Cells behind. Dead Cells has been left behind for 5 years now by the main development studio. They basically did spin it off to Evil Empire, which took over in 2019 and released all the patches and all the expansions for the game. And so they are now moving on to something new. And it seems like that, at least behind the scenes, this whole we are moving on and focusing on new things is not really what people wanted. Former Dead Cells lead designer Sebastien Bernard has been apparently some interesting words for the publisher, and he is saying, since you're asking me, I just say Motion Twins, the publisher, did the worst imaginable asshole move against Dead Cells and Evil Empire, which is the spin-off studio, right? Having seen firsthand the actual situation behind the scene, I can honestly say I'm glad not to be part of this anymore. The official statement is total marketing bullshit. The way this situation happened is one on a whole different level. I've never imagined my former co-op studio would turn out to be such a greedy people. I wish the absolute best to Evil Empire for their next things, and hope people working there will survive the sudden economic cut. So if this is really true, then that sucks, of course, if they basically just said, nah, you cost us money. We don't want this anymore, even though it has been very successful. But yeah, that stings a bit. Not great. And at least Evil Empire sounded like they're having some things aligned for them. But still not great. If basically the main money giver and the main project is being just pulled under your feet. I know that feeling very well. Thanks, Microsoft. Thank you. Bastards. Yes, after 4 years, I'm still holding a grudge against that. And as I said, I will hold a grudge against Microsoft of all time against them for them closing down Mixer. Yup. This is why I don't wish anyone that Twitch is being like shut down at some point. Like, I'm not wishing that on anyone. It's the worst feeling. Like, ugh. Horrible. So, with that said, I think we're done with the gaming news. And that means it is time for Nightingale. Yes. Yes. It is time for Nightingale. Let me open up the thing. And let me explain a little bit about what is going to happen here. And more importantly, what happened. Right? Woo! Nightingale. Hey, Mnemonic. Woo! Let me also... Oh god, where do I put myself here? Oh. I'm not allowed to look like... Maybe here? Maybe I should... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, what? Get over there. Get over here. I tell you. Yeah, that's fine. We can do this. Okay. So let me explain very quickly before we jump into this. Nightingale. What is Nightingale? Nightingale is an open world survival co-op focused game. There's no PvP in the game. And it's a bit like they're calling it, what is it? A gaslight punk or gas punk, not steampunk, but like gaslight punk fantasy setting. So you are pretty much in the Victorian age. You are getting closer to World War One. This is where we are technology wise, but there's also like a lot of fantasy elements, and you were in the realms of the Fae. And the TLDR is you were trying to reach Nightingale, which is the last city of humanity in the realms of the Fae. But things go sideways, things are not working out, and humanity is basically on the brink of extinction. Weird creatures are attacking left and right, the Faes are nowhere to be found, and things are not going all too great. It's great times. And so that's basically Nightingale. You are trying to survive, you're creating your own character, you can play with other people if you so desire. And one of the biggest, I would say two of the biggest actually, like takeaways for Nightingale is the realms. So you can create your own random maps. You can go to a Stargate portal, right? You are hitting in the coordinates, and then the portal will create a random map for you and people who want to join. And you can create endless worlds. While the maps are randomly created, the points of interest you can find on those maps are not. They're handcrafted. by the developers, and they feel a lot like dungeons or really cool things you could find in the game, like Skyrim. And I say specifically Skyrim because apparently Bethesda has completely lost the plot on how to make interesting points of interests in Starfield, right? And this game is absolutely nailing those points of interests. I will actually show you some points of interest and all that. So I have been invited into a preview event, right? And I was allowed to play the game for 3 days straight. There was no limitations. Well, there is a little bit of a limitation on how much I'm allowed to show you to a certain point in the game, but that's like, I didn't even reach that point. I didn't even reach that point. And I could have gone beyond that. I was just not allowed to show it to you. So I had 3 days of just playing the game. You can see the character creator here. And I have to say, man, are those faces ugly. I'm sorry. The good news is, you can change the face quite a bit, right? Yeah, it's a bit quiet, I know. It's not too important. There's not much going on. So this is the really interesting part. There is an ancestry part to it. I'm not quite sure what this does. There seems to be no real gameplay to it yet, right? I haven't really seen the difference. Give me just. Let me crank this up a bit. The music is, by the way, fantastic. I love the music in this game. But yeah, there's like a background story, and what's really cool is, and I will show that here probably in a second, is the lineage. Yes, you can have a lineage of parents and grandparents. And what that does, it basically changes how your character looks, right? Because you're inheriting the traits of your and the looks of your parents. And for a moment, I thought that's a woman. Till I realized, no, red core means man and green means women. So my two parents were basically guys. You know, a little bit of like open relationship in the year 1817, you know, having children and all that together. It took me a while to realize. I will fix it up, but it took me a while to realize that red means that's male, right? And then when they're becoming green like this, it's female. And this is the moment where I realized, oh, wait a minute, are all females wearing like green dresses and all the men like red coats? Oh, yeah, this is the moment where I realized it. And then was like, oh, wait a second, maybe I should change that. And I was testing the theory right now. Again, it doesn't really do anything. Like, if you want to play around with it and you basically want to create a character through inheritance, you can totally do that. You can also just say, you know what, screw that. I'm totally creating my own character from scratch. And the game is offering you tons of stuff, right? Like, you have all the different skin tones you can go with, and you can change so many things and details. Like, it's one of those games again where you can change every single bit on your character. No, there's no nudity. There's no nudity. Don't hope for the nudity. Sorry, no nudity. But yeah, the character editor was pretty cool, but also needed, because as I said before, some of those characters, you know, I don't like everyone has a different sense of a beauty standard, right? But man, there were some characters where I thought, man, that's some inbred right here. Holy shit. Holy shit. But yeah, as I said, you can go pretty crazy on the character editor, which is fantastic. Really love that. Really enjoyed that. And I think I was sitting here for like 20 minutes, and I didn't even try hard. Yeah, something with my eyes. Like, I definitely had like a lazy eye or something. I don't know exactly. Weird. Let me jump a little bit ahead, because I made another huge mistake. Yes, let's talk about this. Let's talk about difficulty. So the game is throwing you in at medium, right? And this is your starting loadout. You can choose like how much you actually have with you. Like, you can already start with a backpack, a leather coat, and being a little bit protected. Or, well, you're just in the middle of your night sleep and you're being teleported to the Fey realms. That's not too problematic, because you are getting some new equipment relatively fast. But where I really screwed myself up is this: the difficulty of the realms you are starting with. Because I decided to play on hard. And as you might have realized, the number up here is changing. Right? So what does that mean? Everything has a gear score. You and the enemies included. You have a gear score. And you are starting with gear score 10. You are starting with gear score 10 in the first area. That means your enemies start already with gear score 25. And even if you do everything you can in the very first area, you will only get up till gear score 20. So you will still be 5 under it. And that was fine. You will actually see that I have been playing this for 8 hours, and it feels more like a Dark Souls. Now, as somebody who has finished all the Dark Souls games, Elden Ring, and most of the Dark Souls knockoff, and I don't have a problem with those type of games, I'm actually pretty good at them. This was all fine till I meet the first end boss of the first area, because unfortunately that end boss, at least in the preview build, was more or less doing just one attack without a break. Like, it was just doing a forward thrust attack the whole time, and if it hits you, which it most of the time does, you will also be set on fire. So the only thing you are permanently doing is chucking health potions to kind of counter the dot, but you cannot do any damage. And then I switched back later on to normal. And normal was a breeze. I did the first area I took 8 hours for on hard difficulty in like 2 or 3 hours. Don't play on hard at the beginning. You can, by the way, you can switch it later. You can switch it later if you so desire. Whenever you are opening up a new map, you can say, okay, this map should be generated on hard, this map should be generated on normal, extreme, whatever you like. Like, yeah. I know, I love my name too. Zudia McMole. Yeah, there is no... Like, there are subtitles, but no voices. Keep in mind that the version I played was at least like a month old. And I just skipped that because I was like, yeah, whatever. Loading times could be a little bit better. I think it took me like 2 minutes or so, my M2. Man, so this is the beginning. And Puck is the main character you will meet. Also, you. Puck is, well, you will meet him yourself. First of all, amazing voice. Absolutely amazing voice. Whoever the voice actor is. It's just. But Puck is such an interesting character. He is clearly the type of character which goes, I'm neither foe nor friend, but we might find an arrangement.
Whither wander you lost in our Feywilds?
Again, he is a very, very I would say he is more like lawful neutral. I think it's the best description of him I could give.
Show haste, human.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen to the man. I didn't. And when the man tells you to show haste, you better show haste. This is, by the way, such a great moment. Yes, you can turn off the interface.
Those bound fiends sniff out your despair.
There he is. The Puck-Man.
Shadows abound, yet like a fire's final embers, you refuse to be snuffed out.
They have a story in this game.
Come with an offer to guide you to a safer realm, and rebuke death, unlike so many of your kin.
But the story is more subtle. That's the feeling I got. Like it's in the background. And for the people who want to listen to it, who want to like be guided by it, you can do that. For people who don't give a shit about the story, well, you know, you can just do that.
So you, bare child of earth, might abscond this nightmare. Travel to the forest byway swiftly. Across the divide, a greater gift awaits. Partnerships with we Fae afford many wonders yet unseen.
Like I said it at some point, can please the voice actor of Puck come to my house in the evening and read me a bedtime story? That would be really nice. So this is the card thingy. Right at the beginning, you don't really have like any choices. Right, this is your byway realm. This is basically your permanent realm where nothing too crazy happens and where you build your base, where you create your home. Well, actually, not this one. Later on, you will have like a permanent home.
The fiends have caught your despair.
Yeah, I didn't do that, and they actually come and try to murder you, so I was just running at that point. Like, there are a lot of enemies there and trying to murder you. So this is a bit of tutorial, right? Let me show you a bit of like the world.
Count thyself among the fortunate few who manage the pales, not these like.
So no, don't do that. You will get murdered. This is your typical survival moment, right? Like grabbing all the things on the ground and all that, you know. Having a little bit of backstory, which is like lying around, which is kind of nice. The waves, like holy shit, man. Look at this. I can certainly say it's a game where the people know how to design a world. Like the world design is just also, yeah, that's some really nice, like even when you were swimming in the water and all that, like like also you will see it more later on, like there will be waves crashing against like slopes and all that. It looks absolutely stunning. Also, Forest by Night, kind of spooky. Not gonna lie, like their forests look really good. Yeah, I'm learning stuff here. Right, I'm learning stuff. There's the Stargate, aka the portal. Again, this is very much like the typical survival starter, right? Like, hey, collect all the things on the ground and make sure that you are not dying. Woo! Deer. Oh dear. This is also a reason why I hate to start on hard. The deers are also level 25. Right? So where you normally, on normal, you need 1 to 2 shots with a ranged weapon, you need like 4 to 5 on hard right at the beginning. It's not fun. There is a pretty cool mechanic. So there is a pretty cool mechanic. There are headshots, of course, right? And if you're doing just a body shot, it's a body shot. But there is a hard shot. Animals have a heart. Yeah, there you can see me. And if you hit the heart, if you manage to do a hard shot, they die instantly. It's hard to do though, because, well, believe it or not, hitting the heart, especially with a slingshot at the beginning of the game, it's the easiest thing to do. We'll see. But yeah, this is just, like, as I said, like goofing around a little bit, how to cook. So this is really cool. This, they're showing you the different realms. This is a desert realm.
Summer runs through my being as blood runs through yours. Yet I've seen that dew men.
Aim is not your song skill.
Flow
Ouch.
like rivers in our deserts.
I know. Shut up.
Spirit and life.
Shut up. Look, man. That's why I mostly use melee weapons.
Enduring the elements is part of the Realm Walker's folly. Pleasure sought through vanquishing hostility. Whether
You
this
bastards.
pleases or not,
Give me just 1 second.
shelter and the means to
Just 1
flee,
second.
you're
I will
not
switch
cast
immediately again. I
alone.
just have to check
Best
something.
to test your nesting
okay.
prowess and avoid exhaustion while I scour for
So,
the next byway.
yes. Bye, Puck. So, desert is really cool. I'm good right now because, well, I'm standing in the shadow. Right? And as while you were in the shadow in the desert, the shadows are moving. But while you were in the shadow in the desert, everything is Gucci. Everything is fine. The moment you were going out in the sun, though, unprotected, nothing is fine. Nothing is fine. This is, by the way, changing colors depending on the biome you were in, which is pretty cool. Like, you don't want to stay out in the desert unprotected, or you want to go to water or to shadows. There are some other ways you can do, like how you can protect yourself. This is where the game is showing you how to put down like your first buildings, how to craft tools. We jump a little bit ahead. And you can actually choose where you start. Like, after you are done with like the areas, you can actually choose which area you want to start in. Like, do you want to start in the desert, right? Or do you want to start in a swamp? I'm doing something here. I don't know what I'm doing here.
It behooves us both to move with caution. But enough prattle.
And
Guard fey archways that align with temporal realms. As they're already
it also changes the
constituted,
building and the crafting materials you have at your disposal at the beginning of the game. So if you were building in the desert, you will have like a more
impulse is to flee without
Middle
plot.
East look to your buildings. right?
Prepare yourself,
Not a lot of wood, because
Once
wood
the
is pretty
strength
rare
within our wake,
in the
a
desert.
fine morsel of knowledge I shall bequeath.
The swamp area is
Ahead lie
more
relics of
far
humanity's
east
future.
when it comes to the looks. Right, they're going a little bit more far east, like Asia style in the desert and the swamp areas. And forest is your typical European medieval style, or well, building style. Yeah, this is where it shows you how to craft food, how to craft like your first equipment actually, like how you get better gear. Swamp, don't stay too long in like some of the swamp areas because you will get sick. And they have a lot of predators, as you can see here. Like those, whatever those are. Like everything in the swamp is basically a predator at that point. And if you feel that they are super spongy, yes, they are. They're super spongy. I'm trying to find a dodge mechanic to realize you get a dodge mechanic depending on the weapon you have. So the knife I'm using on the right click has a dodge mechanic. If I'm doing right click, I'm doing like a super fast dodge. Right, it depends on the weapons. Like there are some weapons who are doing blocking and all that. So let me switch a little bit ahead. This is still the tutorial. Let me jump to a non-tutorial area. How about that? And let me get a little bit into later gameplay. Like, as I said, the beginning is really just, hey, have you ever played a survival game? Do you know what a survival game does? Right, that kind of thing. So here I'm already a little bit out of the tutorial. I got my first slingshot. For everyone who is wondering what the slingshot or the crossbow uses, it's stones. If you are playing this game next week, by any chance, it's pebbles. You have to craft pebbles. It was one of the biggest questions a lot of people had, like even with the creators. Like, hey, what ammunition do I use for this? It's pebbles. And another question I saw from a lot of people, yes, there is third person. There is third person. If you so desire, you can switch between first person and third person. I enjoyed this game in first person, so I played it mostly in that. I also love that when you hit enemies, you can stun them a bit. I don't know how I missed that shot. Also pretty cool. You might see it on the weapon. The more you're using the weapon, the more the polished look disappears, and you see more and more usage on the weapon. And as I said, it looks really cool. I used a lot of the knife at the beginning, which wasn't a good idea. I should have used the two-handed axe. Would have made things so much easier. Another thing you have noticed, when you have a one-handed weapon, you will always have a side item, like a food item or something in your left hand. They will give you a chance to put that away. So you don't... You're not running around with a super magical knife and a hamburger in your left hand. Like it looks a little bit silly. Also, something which took me far too long to realize is how the food system works. So you can see the food system right here. You can have up to 3 different foods with you. And when you do that, you are having just more health. I didn't realize that for far too long. So I unlocked the blueprint. This is a point of interest, right? This is a pretty simple one. You are literally just killing the enemies you found there. And now I realize, wait a moment. Yeah, that's a wall you can open up. And there's a chest. Finding blueprints is really important. There is a problem with this game, which I definitely mentioned in my preview, and that's the crafting system. Let me see if I can show you the crafting system. Do I do some crafting here in this video? Boar. Oh yeah, tons of secret rooms. This game is rewarding exploration. I will show you some really cool... Man, look at this. Look at those waves and the stones and whatnot. Like, this game... pretty as hell, man. Let me find some... civilization parts. I would definitely show you some... Yeah, there's a ship there. That ship foundered. And so though there are points of interest where, and you will see this in a second, where you find dungeon entrances. Right? You will find entrances for dungeons. Oh yeah, the music changed for a second. I was like, wait, am I in a fight? What's going on here? Let me see if I can show you this a bit. Oh yeah, there's a bug right now with the fire. It's not the torch which was on fire. It was my hand which was on fire. It's a graphic glitch. Again, this is an older build. So this is what I meant. You will find those energy portals. I will go there in a second because I was like, oh, camp. Is there something here? No. So you will find those barriers. And the game, you can see it right here. We just found the gloom side of power. You see it on the right side here where my arrow is, right? And I need an item level of 45 to go in there. I'm only item level 13. Yep. And the game is like, nope. You're not getting in there, dude. It's a dungeon. It's literally a dungeon how you would see it in MMOs. Right. Yeah, level 10. I don't have the better items yet. And you will find those dungeons all over the map. And there will be like blueprints in it. There will be dungeon bosses in it. It's really cool. So let me see if I can show you some crafting because I wanted to talk about that. It's just me exploring a lot. Oh yeah, here's another... I don't know how I missed that. I know how I missed that. So this is a... Let me show you this, by the way. Nope. Look, I'm wrestling with the interface a bit. They already said that they will rework the interface because the interface in itself was pretty much in the face. And not necessarily in a good way all the time. Bye. Boars are great. Don't try to hunt deers. Hunt boars. So this is a Simon Says riddle. It's actually pretty simple. This one is, like, again, starter area. You have to see, like, which starts first, and then you have to do it in order. Right. This was the second. This is the third. Yeah, this is the first time me seeing this. I've not done it at this point. If you're like, why are you so heh? I have not done this. So I was like, okay, so we have to do this, and then I was figuring it out, right? It's super simple at the beginning. But it gets harder. Like, keep in mind, this is the starter island. And I got a simple hammer. And I can fly. Which took me far too long to to realize that I can basically now soar through the air. You can see it here. I got the buff right in the middle. Whee! Well, gliding, more like. Woo! Yeah, it's a buff you were getting. Unfortunately, it only lasts for 5 minutes or so. Oh, this thing. So, you will find smaller realm cards while you are playing. Then you can find those stations and activate minor realm cards. And the minor realm cards will do things with the realms you are in. Right? They will change how the realm behaves. Like you can put in a blood moon. If you enjoy some 7 Days to Die, you can activate that on your realm. Or you can activate that you have less gravity. Oh yeah, now the fun part begins. See what happens with my life. See what happens with my life. I'm dying. Why am I dying? Because it's hailing. It's hailing. And the hailing hurts. What can you do against it? Well, find shelter. That's what I'm doing here. Or, and this is one of the most important things, as quickly as possible, learn how to get an umbrella. Not only does the umbrella help you to not get murdered by hail or get burned by the sun all the time, it also helps you to glide. Yes, you can use the umbrella to glide down a little bit. Oh, yeah. So, this was a bit of panic mode. The pigs respawned. I was nearly dead. And then this happened. And I was just like, oh shit, I'm dead. I'm dead. Yep, this is my end. Wait, nope. Haha! I played the game. Pure coincidence. Pure coincidence that I still had the super high jump buff and actually landed on that thing and could just wait here. I was like, yay, he's safe! I didn't die. But that was basically what I was doing for like 10 minutes. Let me show you a bit of crafting and more importantly some of the more end game moments. I think that's a pretty darn good idea, right? Yeah, let me show you this. Oh yeah, let me show you the boss fight. What the hell? There we go. I love when autoplay things in the background. So this was a boss I was fighting. This is the first boss of the first area. Hashtag spoilers. This is the Automaton Knight. And unfortunately, like this, by the way, this is already I am on normal. Unfortunately, this is what he is doing the whole time. He does those forward attacks and you cannot really block that. You are getting immediately hit, you are on fire, and in hard mode, like this dude is just absolutely crazy. It's like on hard mode, you are losing so much health the whole time. You are basically just healing and you cannot really do anything. And he also hits you through like those temple thingies. That was the reason why I started to respec. And if you're like, huh, you have another player with you? No, I do not. That is not another player, that's an NPC. You can actually hire people in this game. You can find people, you sometimes have to do a quest, or you have to like give them something or something, right? They will come up with something they want, and then you can recruit them. And those NPCs will do the farming for you, they will do fighting, they will do some carrying for you. They're pretty useful. Quick note, speaking about farming, do not, under any circumstances, give them an axe while you are in a forest area with your base in it, because the trees in this game hurt. And your NPC doesn't give a shit if they destroy your base in the process or not. So be careful with what you are doing. I had to figure that out the hard way. So this is my little cottage base here I have. And this is something I wanted to talk about for a while. So one of my biggest pet peeves I have with this game is how many crafting stations there are. There are tons of crafting stations. And then it gets worse because there are tons of upgrades you can get. Let me see if I can show you this. Okay, I'm putting together my crafting station. Let me see if I can find the point. Yes, this is actually pretty good. This is actually pretty good. So, you see this? Augmentation slots, right? And then you see valid augmentations. So, the simple smelter can be augmented up to 4 times. And those augmentations are also items you have to put on the ground. Let's say for the crafting station, like the normal workbench, you can put down a sawhorse. And the sawhorse will then, let me see if I can show you this, will then upgrade the saw table. This is my tanning station. There's tons of crafting here. Let me see if I can... No, it was much, much later, I think. Let's see if I can... Oh, this is where I was going through the thing. Okay. And so to go back to this, when you are putting down an upgrade, right, that unlocks blueprints. Actually, it doesn't. So it's a bit weird how they're doing this. Even though you just put down the upgrade station, you still have to find the blueprints for the items you want to craft. So you need the upgrade station, but you also have to find the blueprints to actually craft the item. And my problem with that was I didn't get that. The game is not really fully explaining that to you, or maybe I missed it. Who knows, right? Like I'm a dingus here. But the problem is you're staring at your station. You just built the sawhorse, which should unlock new crafting items for you, and nothing happens. And you're like, why? I just did the right thing. Why is this not like working? To then realize, oh, I need the blueprints. Wait. Where do I get the blueprints from? Well, you find them in the wild by just exploring on random, or you go to a merchant. And the game is also not explaining to you where to find the higher tier merchants, really. So, and where to find the currency, because there are different currencies for different merchants. And I was so confused by that. Like this game, I think the biggest problem this game really has is there's a bit sometimes too much. And the biggest mistake you can make is ignoring the tutorial. So what I did in this playthrough, you see here right now, I basically started to stick to the tutorial because it makes things so much better. Because they actually explain like just things to you, right? They explain the crafting, the upgrading, what you have to do, where you have to go. And if you are basically ignoring that and you're going on your own path, you will not get that explanation, and you might never find out what the hell is going on. So I highly recommend to follow the tutorial. Don't be an idiot like me and just be like, oh, I have played over 1,000 hours in different survival games. I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. The answer is no, you don't. And, well, maybe you are. Whoever was watching this might think, nah, I will figure it out. If you do, good on you. Good on you. I thought the same thing, and I failed. Yeah, so at this point, you see the cards down here? You see the cards down here? I activated the realm cards, the minor realm cards in my realm, like having less gravity. Yes. Having less gravity is definitely one of the hallmarks you want on your peaceful world, because it makes things so much easier. You can travel so much faster from A to B. You can just jump down cliffs without without needing the umbrella, or you have to fear for your life, right? It makes things so much easier. Highly recommend to get the minor realm card, which is reducing the gravity in your base. Again, it makes things much more palpable. But yeah, like the biggest concern I have with this game, and it's fixable. It's nothing like it's not a do not play this game concern, right? I haven't really found a red flag in this game. If you are waiting for the moment when we'll now start to tell you about the red flags in this game, I haven't found any. But definitely one of my concerns is the crafting. There are tons of different crafting stations, and they are getting more and more and more over time, and tons of different upgrades, and you basically have to remember what does what, where is what. And granted, what I'm doing here is absolutely shitty, right? I just have this tent where I put all my crafting station under, because the crafting stations should be covered. They don't like it when they are standing outside, especially with rain and all that. So I just put them all under the tent, and I should have built a base instead. But because of the time limit we had, right, 3 days, I wanted to not really focus too much on building. So I haven't done any building. Right. So yeah. But there's so many crafting stations, and there's so many things you can craft on those crafting stations. Right, they're starting out with 4, 5, 6 things you can build on the crafting station, and then you have to, like, I think one of the craziest moments was when I tried to build a bigger box where I can just put all my items in. I had to get 6 different things, and they were all in different crafting stations, and they all needed like some pre-crafting to be done. And it was kind of crazy the amount of time and preparation I had to do for just a bigger box. Now, granted, that bigger box, in comparison to the thing I have right there on the ground, is day and night. Like, we are talking about a huge inventory, right? And I was like, okay, that made it worth it. That made it worth it, right? It definitely made it worth it. But it was a lot still. I love the different animations and stuff in the game. Like, it's a small thing. Like, the developers have been listening to us quite a bit in the preview event. Now, keep in mind, the build was a month behind at least, and early access is next week. So before anybody is hoping for too many changes, no, this is right. Like, you will get what you see here. Yeah, I was really good at reading that tutorial. I was like, yeah, whatever, realm cards. So this is where you can craft your own realm cards you need. Let me see if I can jump a little bit ahead. Oh yeah, It's hailing badly. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you something. Yeah. So this is me farming some stuff. So this is where I activated the first portal out of this realm into the next one. And this is another forest area. But what's really cool is this is a completely new map. This is a boss mob, which is running around on the map. Like some of the points of interest are already on the map. But yeah, this is a forest area in autumn. It's a forest area in autumn, and man, it looks pretty. Oh yeah, you can repair on your way. You don't have to go back to your base, which is again, oh, amazing. Like forest looks so good. Oh dear. Yeah, those are now level 20 because this is the second map, right? Spoilers, I will not get that deer. I will not get that deer. I know, absolute deers are fast, man. Look, what I want to say is I'm really good at what I'm doing, right? It's just like the deers are like really good, man. Okay? It's not my fault. I get that deer at some point. I think it gets stuck or something. I would definitely get that deer. I just don't. I think it gets stuck here in a second. And then I'm just like, yeah, I gotcha. I don't know how I missed that. And I was just like, okay, you know what? Let's take the axe. Look, man. Oh, yeah, there's the first tier 1 essence for everyone wondering. That is very important. Like, for a while, the tier 1 essence was like an urban legend between content creators because nobody really knew where to get the tier 1 essence. That was like the biggest problem we had. We were all like, have you found the tier 1 essence? No. Have you found one? No. Where do we get those? I don't understand. And the answer was, do the tutorial. Finish up the first area. It's a thing. It's a thing, okay? Let me see if I can show you. Oh yeah, there's like a cannon. Like there's some cool stuff to find. I don't know what this cannon does. Is that here? Do I do it here? No, right? I'm just walking around here. Killing some wolves. F-wolves, by the way. F-wolves. Oh yeah, let me show you. Yeah, it's the other one. It's the other one. Let me show you the where is it? It's this one, right? Yeah. So here I've been finding another base, right? What I wanted to show you is, well, there's another thingy, which took me quite a while to understand what the hell is going on. It's not the wisps. I had to find runes, which I had to activate. But that's not really what I wanted to do here. I wanted, yeah. So this is a Fate Tower. Took me a hot second. Oh, wait a minute. Why did it minimize my chat? There we go. Chat, you were minimized. I'm sorry. So this is a Fate Tower. And the idea is pretty simple. you have to go to the top of the Fate Tower and murder some enemies. So best advice I can give you is that the axe I'm using here for cutting wood is really good against those enemy types. Like, I really enjoy the axe. Unfortunately, I didn't really had like any gunpowder yet. Like, I was close to getting my first pistol. Well, revolver, I should say. There's some essence you need. I was pretty close to it, but I haven't reached it yet. So you will get quite a bit of gunpowder weapons. Yeah, they are not triggering traps. Those are traps, and I was trying to understand. Wait, is that a trap? Yep, it is. But you will get quite a bit of gunpowder weapons. There will be quite a bit of pew pew and guns in this game. Just to make that clear. So you're climbing up the tower. Sometimes you have to fight some enemies. Sometimes you are just having to make sure that you are not running into the traps, and you are also finding the way up, which was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. It was definitely like a little labyrinth, which you had to figure out where to go and what to do. the old survivor trick, just attacking stuff and see if you get something out of it, right? Like, most of the traps are pretty easy to see. They're getting a little bit more problematic when you have to fight enemies, and, well, you don't really want to walk backwards into a needle trap or poison trap or something like that while you have like some really tough enemies in front of you. Let me see if I can find the... Let me show you the fight here. I have this one. So now we're at the top, and there's the thing which allows you to change the realm again. And more importantly, there's a huge chest here. I was trying to make some screenshots, and then unfortunately the enemy was like, whoa, what's up, bro? Those dudes with the sword, with the mask on, I think I'm actually dying here for a second. There's the chest. No, I think I actually survive. But only because I am reviving my recruit, which is super fast, by the way. It's just a click. I wonder if it is a click just in the full game. I have not found a way to heal them. They are not taking the heal potions or the heal dust like you do. So I haven't really found like a way yet. Grabbing the loot. Greedy bitch. Ow. This dude. They're the worst. There's some really cool anime designs. Yeah, I haven't found really a way on how to heal my companions. Again, they're not taking the healing stuff. But I can already tell this game definitely will be a bit easier alone. Not alone, with friends or other people. Yeah, this is where I can actually activate the realm cards. And I did activate the Dragon's Horde card. So if you're wondering what that does, it's pretty simple. Dragon Horde gives you more loot, but you will get more damage. And as you know me, I'm a loot greedy bitch. So I was like, yeah, of course. What? I don't understand the question here. That's, by the way, a pretty cool effect. Have a pretty cool effect when that happens. But yeah, more loot for more damage. I was just like, hell yeah, especially when I'm opening up this big chest. Oh yeah, the Lotus. The Lotus is super important because you can build your own portals at your base. So you don't have to find a portal in the wild anymore. And you need those Lotuses to craft portals. Which is pretty neat. Because you can close and open portals at your leisure. Which is fantastic. But I think that's it. I think that's just Puck explaining to us that what we are doing here is like, this is actually the first time where I felt like Puck is not necessarily our friend, because he was a little bit not pissed, but he was certainly not happy that we got that technology at the beginning. Yep. But I think that's all I have to show, at least for now, for Nightingale. Mm-hmm. Yep. What do you think? We would definitely play it when it comes out on the 20th. Yes, they changed, if you've missed it, they changed the release date to next week on Tuesday on the 20th. Mm-hmm. So they actually moved the release date 2 days up. And the explanation for it is pretty simple. It gives the devs more time before the weekend. Right, to have a look at the servers, to have a look at like some burning issues while everyone is still there. And I think that's a good idea. But TLDR, I had my fun with Nightingale. I definitely have to see more of it. Like I was still in early game. Like the whole mistake of mine to basically restart and play in hard mode at the beginning. That was such a bad idea. Like don't do the same mistake. Like it took me 8 hours to get to the first boss on the first starter island. And even then I couldn't beat the boss. Right? And then I create a new character, and then in 2 hours I'm at the boss, beating that thing first try. I know this might make it sound like it's a little bit too easy, but keep in mind it's the tutorial starter island. Like, do you really want to stretch the tutorial starter island that much? And then even then, like beating I never managed to beat the boss, right? Because unfortunately it was attacking me non-stop, and it was pretty annoying. And I was just healing myself the whole time. I never really got to the point where I could actually defeat the boss. So 8 hours completely wasted, because you cannot just lower the difficulty on the map you're on. You can lower the difficulties for new maps or increase the difficulties for new maps you're creating, but you can never like lower it or increase it when you are already on the map. You have to create a new one, and because you have to do this map, like later on it's not too much of a problem. Like when you realize, okay, this map is shit, this map is not really what I want, or this is too hard, or this is too easy, you're just creating a new map, right? But this is the map you have to beat no matter what, and you cannot change anything. So yeah, keep that in mind. Don't make the same mistake. But beyond that, like what I said before, I really enjoyed the game. They have, I know this sounds silly, and I know this sounds like, yeah, well, duh, kind of stuff, but the game feels really polished. Like, seriously, the game feels really polished. I didn't have any bugs. Well, besides of some enemies sometimes getting a bit stuck here and there, but which game doesn't have that? I didn't have any crashes. Zero. Performance was alright. There were definitely performance moments where I ditched under 60, but I was on ultra settings all the time, and I definitely blame my missing CPU, or not my missing CPU, but my old CPU for it. Right, I'm definitely blaming my old CPU for it. So for an early access game, this game feels really good. Like, again, polished, not really a lot of bugs. Oh yeah, that thing. There wasn't really a lot where I was like, ooh, Power World. Power World has quite a bit of weird, quirky bugs, moments, thingies going on for it. And it gets a bit annoying because the community is like, I had this quick note. I had a video for Power World on Thursday about weapons, and I talked a little bit about ammunition and how to get ammunition and all that, and how it is important. And I literally had people who are like, yeah, why are you talking about ammunition? Ammunition is no problem. You're just buying the ammunition by selling thousands and thousands of nails because you can make so much money from nails. Oh, you're such an idiot for not knowing this. I'm like, oh, excuse me that I didn't mention the cheesy, like how to cheese the game, which was this video wasn't about, but everyone was like super proud that they found out how to cheese the system. And Powered unfortunately has a lot of let's cheese the system moment, and I'm aware of those. I'm just trying to avoid them because I'm pretty sure that's not what the developer wants. I'm pretty sure they're fixing that. Like the nails will probably lose a lot of money making in a patch or two. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But yeah, like the community is already that toxic that they're basically attacking somebody for not like just throw the normal gameplay elements away and just go for the cheesy bits. It's like, okay, obnoxious, but okay. Oh yeah, this is one of the things they have to change. When you are opening the portal for a first time, monsters will come out, right? You have to fight them. But if you are opening the same portal with the same realm, again and again, which I would do here quite a bit, no enemies are coming out, and you still have to wait like 2 or 3 minutes before the portal opens. So they have to add monsters again here, or they have to make that an instant thing. Like it's a bit weird. But yeah, this is the first time I'm opening the portal and monsters are coming out, but then later on they don't. But again, like the problems I have with this game are on a very high level. I'm complaining on a very, very high level for this game. Like, those would be complaints I would normally have on a lot of games at the release version. Right? And so, to have those complaints at an early access version, which was already a month old when I played it, that's a very good sign. That's a very, very good sign for a video game. And the loading times for the realms could be a little bit faster. It could be a little bit faster, just a tad. You know, just a tad. But again, yeah, I want to play more. Is the answer. I wanna see more of the mid and end game of Nightingale. I really do. Will this game make an impact? Yes. It comes out at a fantastic time. Powered has been losing players, and Shrouded is slowly losing players because everyone is basically done with what's there to do in early access, right? Like, especially Powered, people have just consumed. And Shrouded, like, even the slow players, like my friends, a wonderful example. Like, my friends are power gamers in the way of they're focusing on one game and then they're playing quite a bit. But because they are very slow in what they are doing, even though they are playing quite a bit, they're not really moving forward fast. Like, they have now been playing Enshrouded since it came out, and they played it like 4 hours a day, at least. And they are still not done. But they are slowly finishing up. So I would say that the more casual players are slowly getting to the point where they are finishing the survivor games which came already out. So they are looking for something new. But this game, unlike Palworld, unlike Enshrouded, has an end game. I'm not allowed to show you the end game yet in the preview event, but I am allowed to talk about it. Like, there is an end game. There is basically like a hub. You don't have to go there. You don't have to go there. But you can, and then those hub are other players. Duh. But those hub will also give or opening up the endgame areas, like dungeons. I was done Shroud in like 5 days. Yeah, but you have only done like the main quests. I'm pretty sure you didn't do like all the side stuff, because there are literally hundreds and hundreds of quests you can do in the sideways. Or you play 12 hours a day. That is also a possibility. No, like, it's kind of interesting. Like, again, my friends are very slow in how they tackle games. But most people should finish up Enshrouded at this point, and definitely Powered. Like, yes, there's still tons of people who are playing Powered, but most people finished it up, right? So this game could perfectly fit into a gap. Like, perfectly. Right? And I think they will find a player base. Right? Like, I enjoyed my time with it. I want to play more of it. I will play more of it next week. And I also love what they are doing, by the way, with the servers here. All right, cool. Um, servers. So the server system, they are running their own servers. But the really cool thing is that the servers are open 24/7. So if you're inviting people, and that's very important. Oh, it's not about what I'm doing here, it's just sleepy. If you're inviting people to your world, like, you can give them a realm card, and that realm card is allowing people to get into your realm, right? They can even go there when you are not there, right? Like, it's a really, really cool system that you don't have to wait for people to come online to have a server. You don't have to pay extra money to have like dedicated servers or something like that. Even though they are thinking about it, like, if people want to run their own dedicated servers with more tight rule sets, they're definitely thinking about doing it. But right now, it's all dedicated servers by the developers, and you can just hop on whenever you so desire. Now, with that said, we can only hope that at the release, those servers will survive. Because let's be real here, wouldn't be the first game which has dedicated servers at release which it cannot hold. Right, Helldivers? Right. Right. Oh god, Helldivers. They had a patch yesterday where they wanted to fix their server issues and whatnot, and then they realized that they killed the performance for a lot of people, so they had like 5 FPS. So they had to roll back the patch, and now they're working on a solution, and it's like, that's a bit rough. That's a bit rough. Same thing I'm hoping for Nightingale, by the way, that we are not ending up with, well, you could play the game if the servers would be there. They did a stress test. What was it, 2 weeks ago? And they had like 50,000 players, which, by the way, is pretty good. But that's still something different than, having to release people coming in. Especially, like, keep in mind, the stress test they had was officially only 3 hours long. Yeah, they expanded it to, what was it, to 6 hours or so. But most people didn't know, didn't have the time, didn't care, whatever. I couldn't play the stress test. I couldn't stream it because, unfortunately, my download was super slow. So I was done with the download when the stress test was over, which really sucked. Look at that, they have a rainbow in the game. Isn't that nice? Like, again, the game is really pretty. I love the world design. A very, very pretty world. But yeah, that's my thoughts and first look at Nightingale. There will be more. There will be also more videos when we are getting closer to the release of Nightingale. Also keep in mind that Last Epoch has the release next week. I will start to produce some videos also very shortly here. In fact, I will do that right in a minute because I will end the stream here. Yes, today was a pretty short one. But we will be back tomorrow on the ChaosMole Plays channel, and we will focus on a new game which just came out. I want to do a full playthrough of it called Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. It's by the Dot Not people and reminds me a bit of Vampire, like that. So, yeah. Yeah. So we will do that tomorrow, and then Thursday, as I said before, please folks, keep in mind that Thursday afternoon there will be no streams. I will just focus on finishing up some videos I really have to do. Like I have so many YouTube videos I have to create. It's kind of insane. But I will be back in the evening with a stream, and then we are also watching the Xbox event where they are probably telling us that Xbox is going full-blown third party or whatever. And yeah, just so you're aware of that weird day. And then on Friday, I assume we will continue to play Banishers. And then next week, oh boy. Oh boy, next week is I feel sorry for myself a bit. Next week will be insane, but I'm looking forward to it. With that said, folks, I have to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great afternoon. You enjoyed the first look at Nightingale. As I said, the game is coming out on the 20th. Also, huge shout out to Inflexion Games, who made this all possible and who invited me to the preview event. Like, again, really do appreciate that. They didn't have to, but they did. And yeah, I'm definitely grateful for that, which probably has something to do with my powered videos, which did grow the channel quite a bit. Like, yeah, I just want to thank the powered community who has been watching my videos religiously. Like as I said, we have my very first video, which has, how many views does it have now? I haven't looked since we reached the 100k threshold. Actually, it has now 110,000 views. Yes, 110,000 views. Holy moly macaroni. That's crazy. And the other videos are also doing fantastically well. So that's, yeah, it's kind of crazy. All right. But with that said, folks, again, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you tomorrow at the ChaosMole Plays channel with Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. See you then. Bye-bye. Ka-ching! I said ka-ching, NVIDIA. Stop muting me because like I'm making a loud ka-ching noise. Stop that, bitch.